Hi there, this is John, and welcome to another edition of Old Guy Career Change. This has some updates to my search for a third act career. To recap, I'm a 66-year-old software engineer and I'm looking at switching careers. The first 4 videos in this channel give you all the gory details. I hope that by contemporaneously documenting my process, I can help others who find themselves in the same position. Unless something radically changes, I'm keen on leaving software engineering and becoming a watchmaker. And watchmaking is the first thing I'll update you on. I previously reported that I applied to the Watch Technology Institute, or WTI, located in North Seattle. I've now completed all 4 sections of the application process. The third section was taking what's called a Bennett Mechanical Comprehension Test. It's called the BMCT2. It tests mechanical comprehension, knowledge of physical and mechanical laws, and deductions of how machinery works. It has 55 questions that must be answered within 25 minutes. I took the test and correctly answered 54 of the 55 questions. I got 1 question wrong. I bet it was one of the fluid dynamics questions. 1 question off of a perfect score. The WTI chose to overlook my failings and invited me to take the final test. It's an all-day test, and I took it yesterday. It's at their facility. I won't tell you what was on it, but I will say it had multiple sections. I think I did great on half of the sections, and I did only so-so on the other half of the sections. And I left the facility feeling very down about how I did. I was in a very deep funk. Knowing that I blew some of the sub-tests, at least in my opinion, really grinded my gears. I felt better after sleeping on it, but I still don't know. And all I can do now is wait for their answer, thumbs up or thumbs down on me. In other news, I am still gathering information from current and past watchmakers, and all the news is still green across the board. I've gotten more details about the state of the watchmaking business here in the greater Seattle area as well as elsewhere in the country, and everything about this change still feels great to me. I just hope I am accepted into the WTI. Okay, on to photography. To recap that, my self-assessments indicated that I should resuscitate my interest in photography, which I had let slide when computers took over my life because I'm an asshole. On Saturday, I took my Nikon F2 and lenses out for a morning of walking around Pioneer Square in Seattle. I took the bus. Well, here I am on my outing to go into downtown Seattle to take some photographs. Yay me! And I've got my Mindshift Photocross 10 sling bag. And I debated how much to bring with me. And I decided to bring it all. I got my camera, I got my telephoto, I got my 2x teleconverter, and then buried in there I've got a 100mm and then like a 28 or 35mm. I am probably bringing too much stuff, but you know what? This is my first outing, and so that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm liking this sling bag. I wish it had just a little bit more compartment space, but it seems to do the job. My goal is to take photographs of whatever interests me. I'm using 400 ISO film, and we'll see what happens. Here we go. Once there, I let my mind wander and took pics of whatever caught my fancy. I had a great time. The 4 hours flew by, and I learned a few things. 1, I love this camera. The Nikon F2 is superb. 2, for a camera bag, I bought a Mindshift Gear Photocross 10 sling bag. I know that's a mouthful, but that's the name of the bag. It's one of these sling bags that is on your back and then you can shift it around to your front very easily, unlike a backpack. It's a good bag, but I am not happy with the compartment dividers. They're very odd and very finicky to get just right. Anyway, the bag held my camera and 4 lenses. It was probably as heavy as it's ever going to be, and yet wearing it was super comfortable for the 4 hours. In fact, there were multiple long stretches of time where I wasn't even thinking about the bag at all, so that's great. It was also reasonably easy to shift the bag over in front and finesse lenses to do a lens swap on my camera. I'm going to want a better bag at some point because the compartment dividers drive me batty, but it's going to hold me for a while. 3, I found evidence of deterioration in the prism mirror's dampening foam. In a single lens reflex camera, right before the shutter is released, the prism mirror flips up and thumps into foam strips. The strips help dampen the vibrations caused by the mirror's movement. Well, this camera is 50 years old, and I'm pretty sure that the strips have deteriorated from age. After a morning of shooting, there were flakes of stuff in the mirror box, and I did some experimentation and poked around, and I'm pretty sure they're from the degraded foam strips. The worst concern is that these foam strips are the same type of strips used for light sealing on the back of the F2 as well as around the prism head. So if one set of foam strips deteriorated, the others have probably deteriorated also. I brought it to Glazer's Camera in Seattle for repair. I debated whether to use a repair shop that was recommended nationally in one of the online forums that I follow. But to do that, I'd have to ship the camera there, and then if I want to talk to someone face-to-face, it'll be a Zoom conference, which ain't going to happen, or I just won't be able to talk to someone face-to-face. Glazers say that they've worked on F2s before. I've bought supplies there. It's a good store, nice layout. They seem like a decent business. You know, I'm not sure I trust them to rebuild a photomic head or to tear down and rebuild the entire camera. But for something like replacing foam strips, I decided it was a reasonable risk to take. 4th thing, one of my 4 lenses is a 105mm Nikon lens, and I have a Vivitar 2X teleconverter, and I mated them so that I would have the equivalent of a 210mm lens. And I found that it had better image quality than the Vivitar 200mm lens that I have. So from now on, I'm going to leave the Vivitar lens at home, and I wonder if I should sell it or hold on to it at all. You know, the 105 with the 2X gives me a better image, so, you know, case closed. That's kind of a no-brainer. I've also decided that my 3 Nikon lenses plus the 2X teleconverter will hold me for a long time. They're going to give me all the focal lengths I could possibly want. Of course, more is always better. 5, I discovered that I like photographing alleys between buildings. I could talk about the symbolism I see in building alleys, but let's not. Let's just say I found it intriguing and it kind of meant something to me, and I had a lot of fun composing photos of alleys. I've also become, I think, a little enamored of everyday items. You know, a crumpled up towel on a towel bar can tell a story. So that was all just very cool, very satisfying. It really scratched the creativity itch that I think I've been ignoring for so long. Last thing, I've made a list of other stuff I want to buy, some filters, maybe a new photomic head, maybe a different focusing screen after the foam repair, and I'll get to them, you know, when I can, because there's always more stuff to buy. On to the next topic. I know my video's audio hasn't been great, which is a polite way of saying it's kind of sucked. Long story short, my office, which is where I am now, is not conducive to deploying dampening blankets around the office. So I know I have to come up with a good solution, and I thought of one. I am going to convert our guest bedroom into basically a makeshift recording studio, but I can't do that until I can move stuff out of the guest room. I can't move stuff out of the guest room until the kitchen and bath remodel is done. And the kitchen and bath remodel, well, shocker, it's taking longer than planned. I guess what I'm leading up to saying is I'm going to have this level of audio for another 2 months, I think, and I'm very sorry, but it's the best I can do right now. On to my consulting work. I've decided to disengage with one of my clients. I need to reduce my time pressure. It's not so much the time spent actually working for each of my clients that's causing me stress, it's the context switch time. At least for me, what I've decided is no more than 2 clients at a time. And so I've learned something. It's part of my learning curve doing consulting. I think that's it for all the updates. Till next time, take care. Small channels like mine live and die by the number of likes. So if you like this video, please click the like button. Click the subscribe button to hear about future videos. Thank you for watching. See you next time.